Hey everybody, this is Juan from the Byte That Team. The August 11th edition of Monday Night Raw has concluded, which means that all we have left is now SummerSlam. Now before SummerSlam, we got Hulk Hogan's birthday celebration, you got the NWO, you got Roddy Piper, you got all these guys coming out, Brock Lesnar at the end. So nothing really ended up happening, but I am here to give you my predictions for SummerSlam 2014. Also remember, Ryan and Keith, they'll be giving their predictions on the podcast available Tuesday night. So let's get to it. The first match that I want to talk about is for the Divas Championship. So you have AJ Lee, the champion, taking on Paige, who is the former champion. Now this has been an interesting feud. You know, Paige became champion on day one. Then AJ Lee left for a little while. Now they're back. You know, they had that whole buddy-buddy situation going on. And then Paige turned. So now we're left with this match. I think it has tremendous potential to really be something special, not just for SummerSlam, but for the Divas. You know, we keep talking about the fact that maybe they are the next Trish and Lita, maybe they're their own thing. Regardless, I think AJ Lee is going to be coming out the winner simply because I think that if they keep trading off the championships all the time, I think it's just going to sort of demean the championship, and I think Paige would benefit way more for chasing the title as opposed to just having it. So AJ Lee wins, but I think it's going to be an awesome match. The second one I want to get to is the controversial match, because we found out on SmackDown that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will be facing each other in a LumberJack match. Now, I don't really know how this fits in. I'd love to know what everybody else thinks about this. Is this the right match? Why? But I mean, it is what it is. So we have a LumberJack match between both men. I think Dean Ambrose is going to become the winner here. I think that, you know, Seth Rollins, he has the briefcase. He does not need the win. He just got a win over Rob Van Dam. He's definitely becoming a solidified face and one of the top figures in Raw right now, if not just all of WWE, so he can afford that loss. And I think Dean Ambrose, you know, from the way that people are just enjoying what he's doing, I freaking love the guy. We talk about him on the podcast all the time. He's absolutely going to be my pick for this match. Now, getting to an interesting thing, if you told me that at some point Jack Swagger would be getting cheered, I would have probably laughed at you. And I've never been the biggest Jack Swagger fan. However, I think this flag versus this flag match overall, I'm really not feeling it too much. I mean, it's nice that Rusev and Swagger have a program. People are reacting to it, you know. But who comes out the winner? For me, it's got to be Rusev. I think Swagger might get it, but at least my pick, as both the person that I would like to win and who I think will win, is going to be Rusev, simply because then what happens? You know, you've been building this guy up for a very long time. SummerSlam is one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, and then if you just have him lose, then it's like, where do we go from here? You know, Swagger, they can still keep going with the whole American thing, unless they extend the feud. If they extend it for a very, very long time, then and only then, I'll go with Jack Swagger, but for now, it's going to be on Rusev. Now, getting into one of the definitely deeper feuds in this pay-per-view and in WWE currently as a whole, we got Chris Jericho taking on Bray Wyatt. Now, I think they did a really cool thing on Raw where they had these sit-down interviews where we usually have Michael Cole interview Triple H, but this time we had Chris Jericho interview his opponent. You know, it's definitely different. I like how intimate it was. You know, that it wasn't in the middle of the ring where the crowd could just interrupt that. They had that time, that intimate time to just sort of, you know, really let the story flow. And I think it really brought out something a little bit different from Bray Wyatt. Do I think this feud has lost a little bit of steam? For me it has, but it's simply because the whole Chris Jericho maybe being their temporary issue. You know, that's just for me. Now, who's going to come out the winner? For me, it's got to be Bray Wyatt. You know, Chris Jericho has already obtained a victory, so it's only fair Bray Wyatt continues, you know, his development in the WWE, especially on Raw right now. Where does it lead to? I don't know, but that's my pick right now. going to a championship match, we have The Miz, the man with the moneymaker, taking on the show-off Dolph Ziggler for the championship. Who's going to win here? It's got to be The Miz. The Miz has recently obtained the championship. I think it is way too soon for him to lose it right now. Dolph Ziggler, you know, at least he's involved in something. He's not being given much of an opportunity to really talk all that much. He's sort of just being this generic face. You know, people like him, so they throw him out there. He gets a reaction. So if that's what it takes right now, then you know what? I'm all for it. You know, let's support the guy. Hope he gets over really well. But the fact of the matter is, The Miz is going to be coming out the winner of this match. Now, this match has involved closing segments on Monday Night Raw. We got a little bit of a tease that this match could be happening tonight, but it is Brie Bella taking on Stephanie McMahon. Now, I'm looking forward to it simply because we've seen a different side of Stephanie McMahon. For the longest time, Triple H has been the wrestling role in the Authority, and now it's cool to see that Stephanie is enjoying that. You know, she actually wants to wrestle Brie Bella. She's done the pedigree. We got sort of a vintage Stephanie going on, so I think that a lot of people maybe don't expect this match to be as good as I think it will be. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below, but I think that Stephanie McMahon can definitely give a very good storytelling match. You know, she's been involved in the business for a very long time. I don't think this is going to be a wrestling clinic by any means, but I think from a story standpoint, you know, definitely getting the crowd to hate on her, and then Brie Bella, who has the real challenge for me, which is backing it up. You know, you got all that heat, you got all that hatred going towards Stephanie, so you definitely got to bring something to the table. Now, who wins the match? I think it's got to be Brie Bella, especially if maybe at some point they have Daniel Bryan come out, interrupt or something. That's what I expect. However, if for some reason then we get some sort of a Nikki Bella heel turn, then my pick's going to be for Stephanie McMahon. So I actually don't really know who's going to win right now, but those are my separate predictions for the time being. Going into one of the matches that I honestly don't really care too much about, Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. Now, nothing against either guy, but I think that out of the three Shield members, we've talked about it on the podcast, and I'll say it again, I think that Roman Reigns has had the tougher spot. You know, he feels way more forced, as opposed to the fact that Seth Rollins, he has the briefcase, and they're just letting him do his thing, and it's working. Same thing with Dean Ambrose. LumberJack Match is a little weird, but you know what? I'll take what we can get. With Roman Reigns, it's sort of just like, you know what? Let's just get this guy over, and it's working. People are reacting to him. I enjoy him, but that sounds weird. And then we got Randy Orton, you know, who has lost a lot of steam for me. I think that for the past 2 years or so, I really haven't cared much about Randy. So who wins? Obviously, Roman Reigns. I will be very, very surprised if Randy wins. Let me know if you think he'll win by leaving a comment below. But really, why would you expect him to win right now? I just don't see how that would benefit Roman Reigns, especially when you have all the stuff, you know, all the crowd reaction, all the build-up they keep giving him as openly being the next big guy in the WWE. And while we're talking about big matches, let's bring up the main event. For the WWE Championship, we have Brock Lesnar taking on the current champion and owner of a new nice red-yellow shirt, John Cena. I think this match is going to be the match of the night for every aspect. When it comes to wrestling, when it comes to storytelling, Brock Lesnar, whenever he's in that ring, it's just, he has something. I can't really quite put my finger on it, but you could put any other guy in that spot and it just wouldn't work. And Brock Lesnar, even though he's lost to John Cena at Extreme Rules 2012, I think he can definitely, as a character, redeem himself. And I'm willing to let the 2012 thing slide. I've mentioned it in the podcast. I do think that was a terrible decision by the WWE. You just had a guy come in, and then you have him be beat by John Cena, although he looked awesome in the match. But now I think it's a different Brock Lesnar. It's a business-savvy Brock Lesnar. It's a Brock Lesnar that has defeated the streak, so his ego is bigger than ever. You know, so I think it's going to be an awesome match. Who's going to win? I'm actually just going to be very controversial right now and say Brock Lesnar should win this match. I don't care if he's part-time. I don't care if we don't see him for 1 or 2 pay-per-views or something. I don't know if you guys checked out the Paul Heyman interview where he's talking about the fact that maybe having a part-time champion actually benefits because we have so many pay-per-views, because the championship is defended so much, it loses some of that prestige. So I think that by having Brock Lesnar be the champion and not have him be there in each and every single show, it sort of raises that importance. You know, it's like, oh, he's coming back, now you gotta watch that. Now, of course, you know, there's their worry of like, well, views go down, you know, what's the incentive of watching this pay-per-view? Although you can just watch it for $9.99 on the WWE Network. So my pick is Brock Lesnar. I would love to know what each and every one of you think about these matches. Who do you think is going to come out the winner? Let me know by leaving a comment below. Remember to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, get a thumbs up for us. It really goes a long way in supporting us. Remember, the podcast is available every single Tuesday night on ByteThat.com, which is our completely new overhaul website. All of our content's there, really accessible. Remember, it's right here on the YouTube channel. You can also find it on iTunes and Stitcher. And right now we got the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it with a couple of friends. It's going to be a great experience. I think it's going to be a great show. Am I looking forward to it? Yes. Has the build-up for it been awesome? It's been good. It's been good enough for me to look forward to it, especially because, a little tidbit, more WWE 2K15 stuff is going to be coming out, which we'll be covering slowly as it develops. But, you know, gameplay footage, a lot of good stuff happening SummerSlam weekend. So for Byte That, I'm Juan. Let me know what you think about SummerSlam and its results, and I'll see you soon.